There are going to be times when it's appropriate to address the classroom corporately over their decision making, over their behavior. But you want to make sure that those moments are few and far between. It's so much better to just isolate students and have those conversations in private. And I also want you to know that it's okay to get frustrated. It's okay to get angry, especially when teaching and learning, it's hard for those two things to take place because of student behavior. And so here we're going to look at a teacher who gets mad and frustrated. And of course, he's going to get mad and frustrated. This brother teaches sixth grade, and just, oh my gosh. Thank you so much to all of you who work with our elementary and middle school students. I was not blessed with the grace and patience to work with those ages. I like high school students. I that's I was gifted with enough grace and patience to work with high school students. So let's look at this and let's learn from this situation. So let me set it up for you. Something has gone on. Some silliness has gone on, some poor decisions, some immaturity that you're gonna get at this age. Something has gone on, and the teacher's trying to get to the bottom of it. So let's watch.
So what do you again? Again?
I gave it to him.
No. Are you? What level of lying do you not believe? You lie all the time. You did not give it to him.
Okay, so let's obviously teachers upset trying to get to the bottom of something. What we want to do is we definitely want to make sure that we don't get into absolutes, okay? When he said you lie all the time, you lie all the time, those words can cut deep. Those words can cut deep. And when students, especially when students are being corrected in public, in their mind, they're looking for something that you say that is incorrect. And they're going to cling on to that. And that's their justification to not listen to anything else that you have to say. So stay away from absolutes. You lie all the time. No, that's not it right there. And again, the teacher is frustrated. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The teacher wants to get back to his job, but he can't because he has to address this right here. But definitely you want to stay away from absolutes because again, when you get into absolutes and things like that, those words can do a lot of damage.
He had to walk around the room looking for it. Yes or no? Is that what happened? Did you give it to him? Or did he have to walk all the way around the room, pick it up off your table, and sit down? Yes or no? Which one happened? What I said or what you said?
What you said.
So you lied. Yes. How did you not lie? You said you gave it to him.
I just, when you came by.
No. Go outside. Go outside. No, take your iPad with you. You're gonna
Okay, so I can imagine that this student right here was a student of interest. The teacher had an idea that this student was kind of the instigator. And because of that, let's not go through with the back and forth of was did I lie or you lie. Let's not get into that. And I think that that is a byproduct of when we get frustrated. When we get frustrated, when we're angry, then we get into the mode of just I'm going to win this argument. I'm going to show you, and we just never want to do that. We never want to get into back and forths with students. So I think this teacher knew that I need to have a conversation with this student in order to get to the bottom of whatever happened. So if that's the case, just send Johnny out in the hallway. Say, Johnny, go ahead and go out in the hallway. I need to talk to you. And what I really liked about it is he told him, go ahead and take your iPad. You're going to do your work in the hallway. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now I know that there are principals out there who say, we don't want to send students out in the hallway. I think that's a great tool that teachers that teachers have to use. I like it. I like it a lot, as a matter of fact. So I like the idea. Okay, he's sending the student out in the hallway with his iPad so he can continue his work.
You're gonna have to do the assignment on your own. So, who gave you the iPad?
I don't remember.
Oh, you don't read it?
Oh.
So, and again, I think that when we're frustrated and you're right in the middle of this thing, it's difficult, I think, at the very beginning, because everything is happening now. Decisions need to be made now. And what you want to do, especially when you're feeling that way, when you're feeling angry and frustrated, you want to put yourself in a position to where you have to make as few decisions as possible, right? Because sometimes you need time to just, let me calm down. Let me relax myself. I don't want to say something the wrong way. So now he told the student to leave. The student's on his way out. He almost had him out, and he asked the student a question. And so here we go again.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna write everybody up.
No, it was either Christian or
Okay, so didn't quite understand what he was going to get there, so he gets an answer to his question that is not satisfactory. Now I'm going to write everybody up. Now, when you say things, when you say you're going to do something, you have to follow through with it. And see, so there again, a byproduct of being frustrated, you say things that you're going to have to follow through on because you're upset. And again, nothing wrong with being upset, because you know what? That's a real life human emotion. And what you're doing as a leader in the classroom is, it's imperative that you show them, okay, I'm upset. Here's what I'm doing with that anger. Okay. I'm going to handle that in an appropriate way because I'm the leader in the classroom. I set the example. I am the architect of this atmosphere. Just because I'm angry doesn't mean that I just go off, as they say, and just say things that I normally wouldn't say. That's not the way it works. All right, let's keep going.
Well, everyone's gonna get written up. This whole class. Since we play games like this and we can't remember who did what.
So he just said it. This whole class is getting written up. And I've seen it happen many times. When you say stuff like that, then you're going to irritate and agitate students who had nothing to do with it. Then they're going to start speaking up. And the situation is just spiraling out of control. So again, this is why when you're upset, we take time, step back, and figure out how we're going to go forward with this.
It was me.
Why are we doing this stuff? Why?
Brandon.
Why is it okay?
Brenda gave it to me.
It was on my desk. I didn't know what to do.
Okay, so what did you see what just happened there? The student who was about to exit the room, teacher didn't let him exit. He asked another question. And now he was able to move further along in the investigation, because that's what he's doing. He's doing an investigation. But he was able to move the ball further along and get to another student, and you could just see the look on his face. It's just like, oh, you did it. Oh. So imagine, Johnny, would you step up in the hallway? I need to talk to you. Then when you're out in the hallway, you're working that relationship that you've built from day one. Come on, Johnny. What are we doing here? And then what you do when you have that conversation with Johnny, you don't say you lie all the time. You say, hey, Johnny, you said this, and this is what happened. It was the opposite. So explain that to me, Johnny. And then you make Johnny see it for himself. Johnny messed up. And then you can say, so Johnny, so you didn't tell me the truth? What's the opposite of the truth, Johnny? Oh, and then once Johnny answers that question, then you're like, oh, Johnny, really? And then that's when you pull them in even more, because you, as the leader in the classroom, I don't know what happened before this. Probably something bad. Teacher's very frustrated, has a right to be frustrated. But you, as a leader in the classroom, you set the vision. This is the kind of person that I want you to be. Someone who is full of grace, full of patience, willing to extend forgiveness to someone even when they don't deserve it. That's what we do. That's who we are as teachers. Because ultimately, when Johnny is long gone from that classroom, Johnny's gonna remember, oh man, I had a teacher. I was really messing up in his class. I was driving him crazy. But you know what? Even after, we had our conversation, he gave me consequences. He always had a smile for me. He always had a kind word for me. He forgave me. Man, I'll never forget that teacher. That's what you want. So going back to this, you get that student, you get Johnny on the hallway, then you can continue your investigation. Then you're going to get to this student. All right. Then you can say to this student, hey, come on, let's have a talk. Let me talk to you. And privately, as opposed to publicly, because now the teacher is in a situation where, oh man, what is really going on here? Again, you saw the teacher just like, oh gosh, just touching the head. It's like, oh man, get me out of here.
I'm glad you're still smiling about it. It's so hilarious to you, isn't it? Go outside. I told you to go outside. Why?
So now that the teacher doesn't know what to do, that's the issue here. The teacher doesn't know what to do. And I've been in these situations where there's just so much input, so much data coming your way. The output is cloudy. I'm not sure what the best thing to do is. So now the teacher's like processing, doesn't know what to do, looks over, oh, you're smiling? Really? Didn't I tell you to get out of here? Well, no, as a matter of fact, you told him to stop so you could ask him a question, but he forgot about that in the midst of just this frustration and finding out that there was this other student involved who he probably didn't suspect would be involved in something like this. Let's keep going.
You're still here. Because you... What? Who took your backpack?
No one.
So you set it there?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I went to the bathroom.
That's a seat.
Why are you guys in the wrong seat? Because you want to do what you want?
Oh.
Yes?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so now because this is happening in real time, it's happening in real time. Teachers frustrated. It's kind of hard to classify. Okay, this student did this, like that. Classify that. That's a level 1. This student did this. That's a level 3. We may want to look at more. This student did this. That's a level 5. So we may need to do a little bit more about that. So it's hard to do that when you're in the midst of this. So here now we have a student went to the bathroom. They put their backpack in one place, and now they're sitting in another seat. Okay, how do you classify that? That's the thing. Like when you're right there in the midst of it, you're already frustrated. You know what? That could possibly be just a nothing. Just okay, knock it off. Whatever. But now that we're in the midst of this thing, teachers frustrated. Teachers on a roll now. So now we're just gonna go with this. Let's see what the teacher decides. Teachers thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to say next?
What's so funny? Why can't you pay attention to what's going on here? You want to look out there, you join it. Go. Go out there and join it. It's so funny. I have to go. I'm not kidding. You want to laugh and watch what's going out there? Go join him out there.
Again, now's a perfect time. We're 2 minutes and 13 seconds into this. Obviously, the cameraman knew that something interesting is going to happen, and they got what they were looking for. But again, it seems like the teachers they've kind of reached a bit of a conclusion. They're not certain as to what the next step is going to be or what the next step should be. And you know what? When you're angry, when you're frustrated, there's nothing wrong with that. That happens to me as well. I need time to think. I need time to process this. Nothing wrong with that. As opposed to just staring at the students, and if they do something you don't like, I got you. I got you. You go out in the hallway. You go out in the hallway.
Go back to your seat. Actually, no, you go out there too. Since you're
Okay, so now I think what happens is as these things continue on, teachers were really good at this. Once we start to get a handle on the situation, because you see, he's actually thinking as he's looking at the class, and he wants them to just sit there and just be quiet as he thinks. Now he's hitting his stride. He's hitting his stride. He has decided that, you know what, because you're not in the right seat, I think it's appropriate for you to get out too. All right, and then to prove my point that he's getting there, he's hitting his stride, he's going to give his reasoning as well.
confused and you want to do it your own stuff, you go out there too. I'm writing all three of you up.
So he says, since you're confused, you sat in the wrong seat, you can go out there as well. And you can see here, he's got about another minute left in him. So he's hitting his stride. He knows that he's close to a conclusion here with this investigation and taking the actions that he's going to take. But I will submit to you that there was an easier way to do this. All right, let's keep going on.
This has to stop. This immature stuff has to stop. Christian, did you know whose iPad it was?
No, sir.
No? So what are you supposed to do when you have an iPad that you don't know whose it is?
Turn it in.
Give it to me and I might tell you to go to the office. Why didn't you do that? Because you thought it'd be fun to do your own thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Good job. Way to go. Writing you up too.
Okay, the other thing that we want to stay away from when we are correcting students, if we're angry, if we're frustrated, we want to stay away from snarky or sarcastic remarks. You want to stay away from that. The reason is because, now again, I feel the need to say this. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened prior to this. But I do know, and I have a appreciation for teachers who work with sixth graders. That's not me. I don't want to do that. No, that is punishment for me. So I don't want to do that. So I can imagine, yes, they're frustrating. They're squirrely. But again, as a leader in the classroom, we are charged with showing students not only how to set and accomplish goals as it relates to their academics, but we're also we're supposed to leave a mark on them and show them what it's like to be a productive member of society. You know, our classroom it's an environment. It is what we make it. The experience that students have in our classroom. And things like sarcasm, snarkiness, those don't build a classroom community. They tear down a classroom. They tear down a classroom community because those words that they cut, they make people feel negative feelings. That's just the honest truth. I mean, you think about yourself. If someone comes back to you with sarcasm, for return sarcasm for a question that you have, a statement that you make, it can make people feel small. We don't want to do that as teachers, as leaders in the classroom. So that's what this teacher gave the student. And again, I get it. They're frustrated, but we can't do that, because what happens is sometimes you'll have a student who'll just internalize that. Like, man, I feel small. That made me feel bad. Or you'll have that one student that'll come back, that'll have something for you. That'll come back. It's like, oh yeah, well, 4-letter word to you, because you're not going to talk to me like that, because that made me feel something. So so again, we gotta be careful. We have to be in control. You can be frustrated and angry and be in control. Let's keep going.
This has to stop. Since you all want to make the wrong decision, I want to make the right one for you. And I'm going to write you up.
Okay. So I don't even think he realized what he was doing there, but I caught it. I'm sure you caught it too. Since you're going to make the wrong decision, I'm going to make the right one for you, and I'm going to write you up. So again, what you say in these situations, what you say you're going to do, you got to follow through on. So he's got some people that he needs to write up. So let's summarize this. You want to make sure that when you're correcting behavior, if you're frustrated, and there's nothing wrong with being frustrated, you always need to make sure that you're maintaining control of yourself. You never want, it's not okay. It's not okay to just go off and tell it like it is and say whatever comes to your mind. That's a lack of, that's a sign of a lack of maturity. And we as teachers, as leaders, we have to exhibit for students what it looks like to be emotionally intelligent, to be able to process our emotions, and as a teacher say, you know what? When I get angry, when I get frustrated like this, class, I don't always make the best decisions. So I want to make sure that I don't say anything wrong or send the wrong message. Would you please work on your independent work? Let me, your teacher, let me take some time so that I can breathe and I can think through this situation and I can respond appropriately. And I guarantee you, students are watching that, because that's not a sign of weakness. Because once you take that time to think about it and process it, you can go after I think it was 4, you can go after those 4 students, but you're going after those students in a strategic manner that lets them know that, hey, I want you here, but I'm not happy with you and the decisions that you've been making. And we're going to have to do something about that. And there are probably going to be consequences, but after the consequences are done, you're welcome here in this environment. And I, as your teacher, I'm going to give you the best that I got each and every day. And I'm going to celebrate your birthday, and I'm going to praise you when you deserve that praise. It's not even going to make any sense to you going forward, because we're going to move past this, but we are going to deal with this because I'm frustrated now. That's how it's done. Well, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next one. And until then, please don't forget that teachers are leaders.